There's a quiet shift happening in our digital world. Artificial intelligence, the very technology we thought was here to help us, is being twisted into a powerful weapon for cybercrime. And as it turns out, India is right at the center of this new battlefield.
I mean, really think about that for a second. You get a call, it's frantic. The voice on the other end is someone you love, someone you'd do anything for. They're in trouble, and they need money, fast. Your gut reaction, it's to help, right? But what if that voice wasn't real at all? Because, well, that's the reality we're living in now. All it takes is a few seconds of someone's voice, maybe from a video they posted online or even an old voicemail, and a generative AI can create a perfect synthetic clone. It's an absolutely mind-blowing technology, and it's incredibly dangerous.
And please, don't think this is some far-off hypothetical problem. This isn't science fiction. It's happening right here, right now. It's a key weapon in a massive new wave of AI-powered attacks targeting millions of Indians every single day.
So, that brings us to the big question. Why India, right? What is it about the country's digital landscape that's made it such a prime target for these new, super smart cyber threats? Let's dive in and break it down.
Okay, just look at this number. Over 22 lakh. That's how many cybersecurity incidents were reported in India in just the first few months of 2024. Now, to give you some perspective, that's more than double the incidents from just 2 years ago. We are not talking about a small uptick here. This is a full-blown explosion.
And check this out. To fight back, authorities have had to block nearly 9.5 lakh fraudulent SIM cards. This tells you everything you need to know. We're not dealing with some lone hacker in a basement anymore. These are industrialized criminal operations, using AI and automation to attack at a scale that's just impossible for humans to keep up with.
And this isn't just happening within India's borders. When you zoom out and look at the whole world, India accounts for a staggering 12.4% of all malware attacks globally. The country has, unfortunately, become a global hotspot for this exact kind of criminal activity. So why here? Well, it's really a perfect storm. You've got one of the biggest digital populations in the world, and many of them are new to the internet. Then you have this absolute explosion in digital payments. We're talking over 12 billion UPI transactions every single month. And on top of that, you have this deeply connected digital infrastructure where your identity, your money, your official documents, they're all linked. For a criminal, this isn't just a target, it's a treasure trove. It's a massive attack surface that's just too tempting to pass up. All right, so now we understand the sheer scale of the problem, but let's talk about the weapon itself. How exactly is a technology that was literally designed for innovation and progress being turned into a tool for mass-scale cybercrime? The heart of the issue is this concept called dual-use AI. It's a simple but powerful idea. Pretty much any AI system built for good can be flipped and repurposed for bad. The very tools that are designed to protect us can become the very tools used to attack us. It's this paradox that makes the AI threat so uniquely tricky. And this just illustrates the point perfectly. On one hand, your bank uses AI to spot a strange transaction and protect your account. But on the other, a criminal can use that exact same kind of AI to perfectly mimic your normal spending habits, making their fraud totally invisible. Or think about this. An AI that helps programmers find security holes can be used by an attacker to automatically create malware that's constantly changing its disguise to avoid getting caught. This is exactly why our old ways of thinking about security are failing. Traditional cybersecurity was built like a fortress, High walls, strong gates, things like firewalls and antivirus software. It was all designed to keep known bad guys out. But these AI-powered attacks, they don't even bother knocking on the gate. They're adaptive, they learn, and they can essentially teleport right inside the castle, usually by tricking a person, the weakest link in any security system, to just let them in. So if the old castle walls can't protect us from an enemy that can basically teleport, what's the plan? Well, the strategy has to evolve. Let's take a look at how India is starting to build a completely new kind of digital shield, one that's actually designed for this new era of intelligent threats. Let's get really specific about why the old rulebook doesn't work. First, AI can create something called polymorphic malware. That's just a fancy term for code that's constantly changing its own structure so it can't be recognized. Your traditional antivirus is looking for a known criminal fingerprint, but this malware doesn't have one. Then you've got deepfakes, which don't attack your computer, they attack your trust. And finally, the pure speed of these automated fraud operations means that any kind of manual investigation is always going to be two steps behind. So the new strategy is to think less like a fortress and more like a biological immune system. It has to be adaptive. It has to be constantly learning. And it has to be able to spot something that just seems off, even if it's never seen that exact threat before. This new adaptive approach pretty much works in 3 stages. First, you have real-time monitoring, just constantly watching the flow of data for anything weird. Next, it uses behavior analytics to build a baseline of what normal activity looks like, so it can immediately spot anything that deviates from that. And here's the crucial part. When it spots a threat, the response is automated. It shuts it down instantly, way faster than any human ever could. And this fight isn't just about the tech. The government is stepping up too. We've got the new Data Protection Act, we have high-severity warnings about deepfakes from CERT-In, that's India's cyber emergency response team, and of course those coordinated efforts to block millions of fraudulent SIMs. It's truly a war being fought on multiple fronts. So after all this, the attacks, the scary new tech, the new defenses, where does that leave us? It's really important to understand that this fight isn't just about protecting our data or our bank accounts. It's about something much more fundamental to how we live our digital lives. This quote from the source material it really nails it. AI-enabled cyber attacks are not just technical incursions. They're catalysts that can destabilize trust systems. I mean, think about it. When you can no longer trust the voice of a loved one on the phone, or a video of a public figure, or even just a message from your bank, the very systems of trust that hold our entire digital society together start to crock. So here's the real takeaway from all of this. The battleground has completely shifted. Cybersecurity is no longer just a technical problem about protecting our information. It's now about protecting our very ability to tell what is real from what is fake. And that leaves us with a really profound and honestly a kind of scary question for the future. In a world where AI gets better and better at faking every single part of our human identity, our voice, our face, our writing style, how are we actually going to prove that we are who we say we are? That, right there, is the challenge that lies ahead for all of us.